Man was just a marvelous character.
Thank you.
And I thank you for your book. And I wonder if you know how many book clubs are reading you, because I came home to I had taken your book on a trip, and when I came home I found my book club has scheduled it, and it happens to be for next month. And I'm wondering if you have any particular thing you might like me to bring to them to say that it's just a special. I mean, I'm writing down all these things.
Oh, thank you.
And I know we'll have a wonderful discussion. Your spirit will be there.
Oh, thank you.
So is there something I might just bring to them?
Oh, well, thank you first of all for reading it in the book club, and actually, I've met quite a few people on the tour who have selected it.
Lots of book clubs are reading you, I think.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, which is I mean, incredibly flattering for me, because it's one thing, it's one thing like that's unbelievably flattering to have people read the book, and then like now people are coming to readings and discussing it, which is crazy. Thank you.
Right.
What to I don't know. If there's a question, if there's a pressing question that you think might come up.
If I had come after the book club, I would have one. But I'm just listening and think. I'm putting down things, and I'll come up with something.
I'll think of something. As I go around, I'll think of something that might. Yeah,
to throw out to them. To bring out as a because in the pocket book that I received, there is an interview with you with Egan, the author, and there were lots of good things that came up for questions.
Yeah, she really did a great job with the
interesting interview.
Yeah, she did. So I'll think of something.
All right, thank you.
I promise. Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, and then
your choice of the deaf-mute girl, was there something in folklore, superstition, or just perhaps because of the closedness of these villages, that she would be a very odd and suspect creature?
I think that one of the things that the question was about the deaf mute girl and the choice of her as the tiger's wife and the circumstances surrounding her. She was deaf mute from the very beginning, and before the novel started developing, and then it was clear that it fit really well with the rest of the way the novel was growing, because everybody, even insignificant characters in this book, gets a story, and they get it from this very direct, very seemingly knowing perspective, that delivers a lot of information, a lot of details, and yet she remains a mystery, and she's silent, and so a lot of speculation about her gets to grow, and her silence is the thing that ostracizes her, in addition to her being Muslim, and in addition to her being an outsider from the village. I think in a way, as the book went on, she reminded me of those poor people accused of vampirism. They're dead, so they're silent too. So you can't ask them, hey, what were you doing outside this guy's window? Probably nothing, loitering. That's I think that her silence goes hand in hand with the fact that her direct story is never told. It's always triangulated off other characters. So yeah, thank you. Sir.
I'm curious about your creative process for yourself, and I actually have two questions. One, do you plan out where it's going before you write, or do you just follow your mind as you go?
The question was about the creative process, and then do I outline or just freely follow it willy-nilly? I wish I were someone who could just roll with it, but I've actually been an outliner all my life. My process, however, has changed in the transition from short stories to novel, because with a short story, the way I write short stories, I'm typically done with a first draft of the story within 24 to 48 hours. And I then have, all this time to step back from the final product. And there's the beginning, and there's the middle, and there's the end. And elements that you didn't realize were going to surface in the short story have appeared. And, they're all there in 16 to 26 pages. And now you can manipulate the short story. Your role and your control are very different. When I started writing the novel, I realized that final ending, the final moment when I would finish the first draft of the product, would not be for quite some time. because there were many, many pages. And in the meandering path to that destination, which I had outlined, I lost my way, and I ended up arriving at an ending that was quite different than what I thought it was going to be. And so part of my process then was to realize that's okay, and to just reshuffle the outline on my outline board and be like, well, look, now it does fit. And to then, and when you finish, then you can go back through and manipulate. But that requires, for me, that required an almost total rewrite, because themes and images emerged that I just wasn't aware were there until I had gone over it. But I do, one of my techniques now is to, someone taught me to storyboard. So I have different time frames or different characters on different colored index cards and line them up. And one of the things that was particularly helpful in the storyboarding of this book was to realize that in the first draft I'd have like 6 pink cards all lined up together. I'd be like, I must move this, and then that was helpful. Yeah.
The second question was that when you're stopped in your writing, what kind of things, what do you have any way of breaking through when you're stopped, when you're thwarted and frustrated?
Breaking through writer's block. Everyone I know, has different techniques. Mine is sort of to wait it out, because I find that if I try to force myself to write something that just doesn't, it ends up wasting a lot of energy on something that fails. A way to speed up that waiting for me is typically to engage in a process that I started doing a while back and is now like a staple of my writing, which is to compile soundtracks for characters or chapters or scenes or story arcs. And when things are going badly or when I need a break, I will put the soundtrack on, in my iPod and drive around listening to it. And then it leads me to believe that I'm still working when I'm not in front of the computer. And then a breakthrough might happen. And another way is to expose myself to new experiences. Because there's something in the newness of going to a place that you haven't been, or attending an event that's different from what you typically do, that might trigger something back to the writing. So, but for me, it's usually to step away from the keyboard. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So in this process,